The Straight Red Card is sponsored by Roughneck Scarves. Visit Roughneck Scarves for your supporters' gear from Seattle, Portland, New York, to the Philadelphia Union, and anything MLS to the English Premier League. Visit Roughneck Scarves at roughneckscarves.com. Welcome to the Straight Red Card, and today on our show we have Mr. Brian Sciaretta from Yanks Abroad. Brian, thanks for... Did I pronounce that right, first of all?
It's a little tricky Italian name. It's Sciaretta.
Sciaretta, okay. I should have been... I should have done a little bit more research on Italian pronunciations before the show. but you never know how things have been Americanized either. So
thanks for having me on, guys. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, you have been, talking to a whole lot of folks, and one of the recent stories we had here was the whole Timothy Chandler story, and whether or not Germany wanted him back, or Timothy was even thinking about playing for the German team again. And I'm glad we have you on, because you can basically be here to just squash all of that, because you talked to him pretty recently. And just tell us, what did he tell you?
Well, I talked to him in March when he was with the U.S. team. I was in Cary, and they were practicing there, and I did an interview piece. I've spoken with him twice, and I talked with his agent yesterday. We have a pretty good, and we have another writer at Yanks Abroad in Germany who's spoken with him a number of times. I mean, he's thrilled to be with the U.S. team. He loves it. And when I asked him point blank in March, like, if playing for Germany was ever a consideration, he looked me in the eye and was like, I only want to play for the United States. I don't want to play for Germany. I don't want to think about playing for Germany.
Yeah. And
it was very definitive. And most importantly with that was that he said that he was with the German team at the U15 level, which is a national scouting kind of a level. They pull hundreds of kids at a clip, so it's not really an official level. But apparently he had some very bad experiences there. And, at the U15 level, and he doesn't want to talk about what. An AP did an interview with him, too, and he still won't talk about what happened at the U15 level that really made him sour on the German program. But he's thrilled to play with the U.S. team, and the U.S. team wants him. And as far as I know, and then I spoke with his agent yesterday, and he said that the reason why he missed it, he's not in the Gold Cup, is because the Nuremberg's preseason starts on June 26th. The Gold Cup finals on the 25th. Nuremberg, by Bundesliga standards, and he didn't add this, but, he said he needs some rest because he's coming off, but you can pretty much read between the lines that, Nuremberg is, by Bundesliga standards, a small club. Generally they fight relegation off, or sometimes they fall victim to it every year, and they're losing a lot of key players, and they're looking at their right back, and they're like, this kid's going to be good, he's going to be an important player for us. We need him, and he needs to take some time off. We don't need him to have absolutely no off season whatsoever. So I think they pretty much convinced Timothy not to accept the Gold Cup call up. When I talked to his agent yesterday, I asked him, is it because does he want to play for Germany? Does that have anything to do with it? He almost couldn't believe I asked the question. Like, what? And and so he said, no. He says that's not a factor. That's not what we discussed. Could Germany eventually, ask Timothy? It's going to take a while for Germany to really be interested. He has 15 first-team professional experiences, no German U21 appearances, which is where just about every player in the German national team has played. He's pretty far away from that. So for him to even be willing to, make up all the past, reservations he had with Germany, and he sounded pretty bitter about Germany at the U15 level. To make that all up, then to continue to play at a level that's capable of the U21, of the German national team, it's going to take a lot. And as long as the U.S. is interested, I can't see him ever switching. There's just he's got too much going for him. Germany's all hypothetical at this point. The U.S. team is not like some team that, is like some Caribbean nation that has a couple thousand people to it that's never going to get very far. This is. But this is a team where he can make the World Cup for three straight. The next three World Cups. Be a significant factor. He continues to play at that level. And another thing is that if you guys follow any college football or college basketball, it's not too much different in recruiting. Whenever you talk to a top-level recruit, they ask you, why did you choose that particular program? It's because they approached you first. They showed you the most amount of respect first.
Right.
You know, yeah, he's lived his whole life in Germany. He might feel more German. But the U.S. national team was the first one in the door, and they showed him a great experience. And he really liked Clint Dempsey. They formed a nice bond there. I can't see him leaving. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And his agent is back.
Right. I guess, one of my things was that, Nuremberg must think the Gold Cup is a pretty unimportant sub-tournament that we play out here in the Americas. And I just wonder if maybe Bob Bradley could have responded a little stronger. I mean, listen, if it's Bayern Munich or Bayern München or Dortmund or something, but this is Nuremberg. I mean, can't Bob Bradley say, "Hey, I really don't care what you think, Nuremberg. We want this guy on our team for this important tournament that's going to take us to the Confederations Cup."
Look, I mean, I don't blame Nuremberg for protecting their asset at all. I mean, if I was Nuremberg, I probably wouldn't care very much about the Gold Cup too. I mean, every year what's more important than contending for the title is to stay out of relegation. I mean, that's far more important. I mean, the television rights, the revenue. I mean, there is no next year if that happens. Yeah. It's a battle. If the German national team, they couldn't fight that battle against the German national team because they'd be going against their fans who are also fans of the German national team. Yeah, they don't really rate the Gold Cup, and really, the U.S. has made it to the final for the last 3 times, even when they had a B team tournament 2 years ago, and Cherundolo's still the top right back. If we need one player like Timothy Chandler to get that far, I don't blame them. And Bob Bradley being more forceful at this point, why? I mean, you're going to need. You want to build a positive rapport with these, with a young kid like this. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to switch to Germany, but you don't want to rub them the wrong way that Germany did at the U15 level.
Mm-hmm.
There's still got to be a little bit of recruitment. Now, obviously, if you play your cards right, you're going to win this one. But you don't want to rub this kid the wrong way. He's accomplished more in the last 6 months than he ever thought he was ever going to accomplish. He did not think he was going to get. He's a Bundesliga sensation. He went from a guy who just got cut by Eintracht Frankfurt 1 year ago because they didn't rate him, and they're terrible. To make Nuremberg's first team. Yeah. And then just excelling week after week. I mean, of course he's going to listen to his club. They got him to where he had to a level that he never ever thought he could go. This whole thing about players being forced to be released only goes so far as the player has to only if the player really wants to go and his club's holding him back. But if the club is able to convince his player not to go, it's really out of Bob Bradley's hands.
What was it that he did at Eintracht Frankfurt that basically made him expendable? I mean, it seems to me, based on what he's been able to do so far for Nuremberg, he's an obvious great player. What the hell was Eintracht Frankfurt thinking?
Well, their media in Frankfurt really wants to know what the heck happened, how they let it go. I mean, when they played each other in the second half of the year, that was a dominating headline. I mean, I can't say I don't. I doubt many people followed his career when he was at Eintracht Frankfurt. I mean, just a reserve team player. But at the same point, to be fair to Eintracht, you're always going to miss in any sport youth prospects. I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, in any sport, when you're dealing with teenagers, you're still at a point when top players. I mean, you look at the US U20 team. Some of the best, some players emerge that you never think were going to emerge. I mean, Clint Dempsey was a bench player for the U.S. U20 team. Not in 2003. Not that there was anything wrong. It's just how they were at that level, and sometimes players, they hit their stride at different periods. But Eintracht Frankfurt screwed up. I mean, they got that one wrong for sure, and I bet you they would love to have that one back.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
And also, one thing is Eintracht Frankfurt's right back is currently the starting right back for Germany's U21 team, so he's not a bad prospect.
Right.
But
then again, can't Chandler play left back as well, or even midfield? I mean,
he can play right midfield. I've never seen him play on the left side. He's very right-footed. He really likes to he really specializes in making those runs up the right field and being able to cut in hit crosses that way. I haven't seen him play the left yet. I mean, it doesn't mean he can't. Like Eric Lehigh's been able to do some success there, but Chandler's he plays the position so differently than anything we're used to. I doubt, it could be, something that he can move over to the left with that great ease.
Right.